all the way up some people's calves in some of those bathroom stalls. Like, you can see almost to the friggin' top of the toilet. It's ridiculous the amount of space and how little privacy you have in those bathroom stalls. This one upsets so many Aussie parents when I tell them this. People who do this tend to have already been in fairly long-term relationships. They're pretty solid. G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kaitlyn and I'm an American living in beautiful Sydney, Australia. And since moving over here, there are so many Aussies who have met me who've said that I'm the very first American they've ever met, or the first one that they've seriously had a conversation with. And Aussies have so many questions about what it is like being an American, living in America, growing up in America. So let me answer some of the common questions that I've gotten and some things that Aussies just genuinely do not believe when I tell them this is things that people do regularly over in the States. So grab a bicky, grab a cuppa, and let's get right into this video. Number one is that people get married for health insurance benefits over in the States. How romantic is that? No, seriously, people do get married for health insurance benefits in the States. 2 of my cousins did it. As we all know, the US does not have a universal healthcare system, a social healthcare system, whatever the heck you want to call it. So your health insurance is tied to your job over in the States. And if you have a long-term partner who has really good health insurance benefits, or if you don't work a full-time job that gives you health insurance benefits, there are people who will get married just so that way their partner can have health insurance. And while on the one hand it does sound like a lower socioeconomic issue, I know people who are very well off who have gotten married for health insurance benefits because their partner has considerably better health insurance. Now, people who do this tend to have already been in fairly long-term relationships. They're pretty solid, and they just decide to sign off on the paperwork just to get those health insurance benefits. And when I tell Aussies this, not just the fact that health insurance is tied to your job, but that people get married for this, they're blown away. Like, that is one of the biggest decisions you will ever make. Who are you going to marry? And there are people who are doing it just for health insurance over in the States. Number two is that student loans are nothing like HECS and HELP and FEE and all the loans over here. The US student loan system is incredibly predatory. Just to share what it was like for me, right after I graduated uni over in the States in 2013, I still can't believe it was over a decade ago, I had to start paying my student loans off within 6 months of the day I graduated. I graduated in May 2013, which meant I had to start paying my student loans in November of 2013, whether I had a job or not. Lucky for me, I was able to find a full-time job come September. But even when I had that full-time job, it was entry level, it was admin, so obviously the pay wasn't great. And at one point, before I had been able to consolidate all of my student loans, I was paying 60% of my take-home pay to my student loans. I had 5 different student loan payments. And of course, the highest one had a 10.5% interest rate. Out of 5 loans, one of them had a 10.5% interest rate. That's insane. For the most part, these are kids in their early 20s. They've just gotten their first job. They're probably not getting paid that much. And now they're expected to pay a huge chunk of their pay every single month to these student loans. Whereas here in Australia, if they're government loans, then you don't have to pay until you make a certain amount of money, and the government takes it out automatically, so you don't really see that money disappearing. Whereas over in the States, the best thing you could do is enroll in automatic bill pay for your very high student loan payment. And God forbid you miss the minimum one time because somehow you miss 1 month and you end up paying like another 3 months. Like, it's insane over there. On the plus side, I've paid off all my American student loans, but on the downside, it's made me absolutely terrified to take out any sort of loan for education ever again. Number 3 is a bit more lighthearted. Americans do microwave water to make tea. Like, that's not a joke, that's not a gag. I did it for the longest time until my parents actually got an electric kettle when I was like 19 or 20. That's just what we did. You microwave water for like 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Some people put the tea bag in before, some people put it in after once the water's really hot. I was one of those people who always put it in after because I didn't want the tea to burn, because that's where my mind went, was that somehow putting a tea bag and water in a cup and putting it in the microwave, that it was going to somehow affect the tea. I wasn't a tea drinker in the States. I'm turning into one a little bit now that I've moved to Australia, but I didn't really make tea all that much unless I was sick. But yes, Americans do microwave their water to make tea. I did it all the time growing up. Number 4 is that prescription drugs are regularly advertised over in the States. And while this doesn't necessarily surprise a lot of Aussies, it surprises the hell out of them when they go over there and see the level of prescription drug advertising. Like, I don't think you could watch a 1-hour TV program without seeing at least 3 different commercials. They are everywhere. And on top of that, it's pretty normal for people to go to their doctor and ask about these prescriptions. I literally remember doing this based off of seeing some commercials over and over and over again, so clearly it works. The level of prescription drug advertisements in the States is just insane. Number 5 are the giant gaps in bathroom stalls over in the States. Like, these aren't rare, you guys. This happens all the time. Like, I remember working in office buildings and this was the norm in every single floor. Just these wide gaps. You'd have like an inch between the actual door and the frame, so if people wanted to, without really trying, you could very easily see who is in the stall and what they're doing. You could see all the way up some people's calves in some of those bathroom stalls. Like, you could see almost to the friggin' top of the toilet. It's ridiculous the amount of space and how little privacy you have in those bathroom stalls. Moving over here, I feel secluded. I feel like it's a lot more private. Whereas over in the States, like, if somebody else walked in, I'm like, crap, can they actually see me? That's not something you should have to worry about if you're using a public bathroom stall. Really, it's just not. Yeah, over in the States, good luck finding a bathroom stall that actually feels like you have some privacy. So this one's very, very true, and I'm starting to see this pick up a little bit more in Australia actually, because you can buy these pretty regularly at places like Dan Murphy's and BWS. Americans drink out of red Solo cups all the time. It's not just a college party thing, it's not just a uni party thing. No, Americans drink out of red Solo cups pretty regularly. But those are like these standard go-to cups that you use for basically every party over in the States. And we have different colors depending on different themes of the party. Let me tell you, I think I've drank out of Solo cups of pretty much every single color that exists at this point. That's what we use at pretty much every party. That's pretty spot on. This one upsets so many Aussie parents when I tell them this. American kids get homework over that 3-month summer break that they have. So obviously, as you guys know, Australia's school system is set up very different from America's. In America, school typically starts somewhere in late August to early mid-September depending on what part of the country you live in, and then finishes up around mid-May to mid-June. Whereas here in Australia, it's broken up seasonally, where there tends to be anywhere from like a 1 to 6 week gap in between the seasons. Or it might be 2 weeks. I don't have kids in school, so I'm not entirely sure on that one. But because there is such a long 3-month gap where kids aren't going to school, it has become the norm for kids to have to do homework during school break. And depending on the teacher, depending on the school, sometimes they have to submit it at certain times throughout the summer. There are some people who require a school assignment every 2 weeks. There are some who require it once a month, and some that just require you complete an entire notebook before the first day of school. Every school system does it differently because the states are set up very, very different. Every state, and frankly a lot of counties and whatnot over in the States, set up schooling differently, so there is no real consistency across the board other than the fact that kids have homework during the summer. Like, I think I just got away from that. I remember having to read like 3 books over the summer in high school and that was it. I don't remember having to do schoolwork over the summer when I was in elementary school, middle school, but now that is the absolute norm for kids to be doing homework over summer break. Last but not least are the lawyer commercials over in the States.
And that's why I fight for you, Albuquerque.
Better call Saul.
Just like prescription drug commercials, they are everywhere. Good luck watching a 1-hour TV program without seeing at least 2 commercials about lawyers, about some sort of mass tort lawsuit. It's insane the amount of lawyer commercials that are over there. My thing is, I used to work in the States and would make fun of the lawyers who we had cases against all the time. Some firms have grown and become national firms. Some of them I've even seen advertised as sponsors on YouTube. Obviously no one's going to be sponsoring me, I'm in Australia. Seeing lawyer commercials, they're everywhere on TV over in the States. And you'll see the same ones over and over again. Some of them have really catchy jingles. Some of them just have really catchy slogans. You see them all the time in the States. Like, I cannot express the number of lawyer commercials I have seen over in the States. I mean, some of them make the Better Call Saul commercials look like freaking Hollywood blockbusters. Anyway, that's it for this list, you guys. Things that Aussies just don't believe me when I tell them these actually happen in the States. Did anything in this list surprise you at all? Is there anything you've heard from an American that just absolutely blew your mind when you heard it? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. It really, really does help support me and help support this channel. And I will see you all in my next video.